So I am Proto Magical Girl, and this is Bubble Ghost for the Nintendo Game Boy. This is a very cute puzzle action game that not many people have heard of. I actually had never heard of it until the Tiny 10, which is the Game Boy equivalent of the NES Big 20. So this game, a lot of fun, really interesting design, really cute sprite work, a lot of fun stuff. It's completely marathon safe. Deaths take you back to the beginning of the room, and game overs do the same. It's short, it's different, and it's pretty interesting. So right off the bat, you're going to see that the ghost is actually completely invincible and intangible, as a ghost should be. So you can pass through walls and do whatever you want, but the bubble, if it touches anything, will pop. So as you saw, I blew out those candles there because if the bubble passes over the candle flame, it will pop. The fans will blow the bubble around, and normally there's a switch to turn them off. Later in the game, you will see there are rooms without switches. So basically, your goal in this game is to navigate this bubble out of this mansion in 8 minutes or less. And this game, it goes from really cute and fun, these first couple levels, to sadistically difficult by the end. For a casual player, this was honestly one of the hardest games I ever played casually. As a speedrun, it's not so difficult once you practice the major difficult rooms a lot, and it becomes a lot of fun. So here's another fan. We are gonna do some optimized movement right there, where we're gonna blow the bubble as far as we can, and then go get the fan. You'll see that a lot with the interaction rooms, where I'm gonna try and blow the bubble as far as possible without getting it in the path of the interaction object. Another thing to note is that this game actually has a little tracking system, in that when you are in close proximity to the bubble, the ghost will be facing the bubble always, so I can't blow it too close to whatever I'm interacting with, or I'm not going to be able to press the switch or do whatever. Not much to say in this room, unfortunately, but coming up, room 11 is it's probably the first fairly difficult room in the run, in that I'm going to have to squeeze it between some, like, pincers and some other spikes. And I only have a couple pixels of room to do so, and that's a big theme throughout this game. This game is just kind of a collection of very small window tricks in a row. It is a lot of fun, though. So, there you go, that's room 11. Room 12 here. You're going to see a lot of these cycling walls throughout the run. At a later point, we are actually going to go very, very quickly to try and skip a wall cycle. And that's going to be pretty interesting. Coming up, room 13, my favorite room in the run. It's the elephant in the room. Yes, I will make that joke at SGDQ. In all seriousness, coming up is room 14, which is probably the hardest room in the run. As you're going to see, I'm going to have to squeeze it in a very, very small space. Probably 2 or 3 pixels of room, and it's based on the cycle of the spikes. So that one, the problem is you cannot stop the bubble. So if I release it at the wrong time, I'm just not going to be able to attempt the trick at all. Even on PB pace runs, you're going to be accepting deaths here. So there you go, that's 14 skip. That is going to allow us to skip all the way to room 21, I believe. 21. And a third try on that is very good, because really all you can do is just push the bubble over, watch the spike cycle, push it up, and hope for the best. So this room is actually a little more difficult than it looks, because there's really only a 1 pixel of space where you can push the bubble in between those blocks and that middle spike. Here we are going to try to skip a cycle of that wall with some pretty fast movement, and there you go. That one's not too terribly difficult. The more difficult part of that is trying to get under that first spike without losing too much time. This room is pretty jam-packed. Hitboxes in this game are a little weird. There's a couple spots in this room where if you're just in the wrong spot, it's going to get popped and you're never going to know why. Coming up is room 25, which is the room with the wall cycle skip. So like I said, this game in terms of death is completely marathon safe. So I'm going to do my best to do this cycle skip right here. There we go, that should put us through. So as you can see with how quickly that wall came back, that has a pretty tight window, but it's not insane. Unfortunately, there's no real visual cue. Room 26 here is the fan room. I'm really not a fan of it, because the fans cannot be turned off, and they make it very difficult, as you saw. They just start pushing that bubble around. And then here's room 27, which is the next major skip. So I'm going to try and squeeze this bubble into a 2-pixel space. That should be good. Then wait for this wall cycle to end, and then push it up there. The thing about that room is there's really no recovery. If I push it into the wrong spot, I just have to let it pop and try again. But once again, this game is entirely marathon safe for those purposes, because I can just die and try again. But that trick is not easy. 33, another wall room. So if you don't start moving really quickly there, you're going to pop by that first wall. And then you do have to make it through that second one pretty quickly. Here comes room 34, the last difficult room in the game out of 35 rooms. And 34, I think it speaks for itself, frankly. This room sucks a lot. But using visual cues, see, we got it. That's really good first try. Using visual cues based on a little knowledge of the hitbox of those spikes, you can get through that room not terrible. So this is the last room in the game. Here comes freedom. And that is Bubble Ghost for the Nintendo Game Boy in 6 minutes and 41 seconds, which is only 20 seconds off of my PB. That's a pretty average marathon run right there. So I hope you'll consider this game. This game would be a really great showpiece in a Game Boy block or a Silly Games Done Quick block. I am Proto Magical Girl. Thanks for watching. Yo, Nadua. I have not bopped Jokey yet. We're getting there. Very soon. Alright, that's a commentary run. Only took like 4 resets or so. It's not bad at all. What do I feel like playing? Milo Z. Milo Z is a great emote. I think I'm gonna do some Super Mario Land.